Good evening, welcome to my channel. As you will notice, I am in a different location. I'm actually in my parents' place in Edinburgh, planning my next move, literal move, which probably won't be till January. But in the interim, I'm spending some time visiting them, and I'm going to do Christmas and New Year up north, which will be fun. And yeah, I've written another story finally. This one actually set in Edinburgh. And I thought I'd try something a bit different. So rather than me read the story, I thought I'd invite my father to make his second, or is it third? I think second appearance on the channel. And he's going to read a short story for you, which I have just written. And this is story number 143. And of course, as ever, the story is based on 5 random words, and the random words are and this is story number 143, and it's called Fast Moving Consumer Goods. So now, without further ado, over to my father, Ian Boyter.
Adam Hilton had just smacked his heel bone hard against a crate of apples and was hopping around in agony when the little bell by the door dinged to announce the first customer of the day. He already knew who it would be, even before he had heard the phlegmy coughing that presaged the appearance of Mr. Mackintosh. It was a Monday, so Mackintosh, a retired carpenter, or joiner as he put it, would be going to play dominoes with Bill and Lucille at the community centre. He'd be coming in to get his messages, shopping done, before jumping on the bus. Adam had learned most of Mr. Mackintosh's alarmingly restricted routine within the first 2 weeks working in the little corner delicatessen he'd reluctantly inherited from his uncle. This was because Mackintosh wouldn't let up on telling every intimate detail of his post-retirement life. "Morning, Mr. Mackintosh," Adam cried with affected cheeriness as he limped back to the counter by the front door. "What's got into you then?" said Mackintosh. Adam raised an eyebrow. Concern for his well-being wasn't something much in evidence in their interactions to date. "Bang my foot on some boxes. It'll be fine." "You want to get a wee assistant, like that Johnny girl who used to work here. Fine pair of fetlocks on her, she had." Mackintosh flashed a gummy grin. "Ah," thought Adam, "that's more like the old reprobate I know. Poorly concealed lust, framed as familiar fondness." The old pervert had undoubtedly gawped at Adam's 19-year-old niece while she worked here during her university summer break. Maybe that's why she wouldn't be returning this July. "Delivery came late. Supposed to be here at 6, Adam explained for no good reason. Mackintosh wasn't listening. He was already doddering up the aisles with his wire basket. Adam set about pricing some tins of black-eyed beans. A long-forgotten Captain Beefheart song suddenly sprang to mind. "Distant cousins, there's a limited supply, and we're down to the dozens, and this is why." Perhaps he should get a sound system installed and liven up the place. Adam had already made some significant changes since taking over the lease. He'd thrown out much outdated stock. Who needed powdered blancmange mix in 2022? He'd installed a cold meat and fish counter and stocked up on Italian olives and pastas. Adam had changed suppliers from the cut-price local bakery to the more artisanal one by the new waterfront development. He was applying for an alcohol license so he could sell craft beers, superior spirits and wine. Ridiculous that the Warrender Deli didn't have one already. There would be no Tennent's Superlager here. The next phase would see him hire a couple of employees to make sandwiches and salads, to pull in some lunchtime trade. Maybe put a couple of tables out in front in the warmer months. A harum from somewhere in the tin food section diverted Adam from his thoughts. Something had displeased Mackintosh, a not unusual occurrence. Adam knew it was best to ignore this provocation, lest he unleash a torrent of complaint. Adam was sure that after Domino's and Lucille Baxter, complaining was Mackintosh's third favourite thing. He should have been running his cafe bar with a performance space in Margate, but here he was, called back to Edinburgh by a family necessity. Still, he was making a go of it, as his ex-girlfriend had always recommended he should, and there was no essential reason why the citizens of a polite city like Edinburgh couldn't warm to Moroccan flatbreads and double virgin olive oil. For fuck's sake! Okay, now that Adam couldn't ignore, especially as 3 more people had entered the deli since Mackintosh had begun his slow perambulations. 2 of them were little kids, in the orbit of their mother, a young Asian woman with a lovely smile. Most of his regulars were way more agreeable than Mackintosh. It wouldn't do to have a grumpy octogenarian terrifying his clientele, not when Adam was concentrating on building his deli into a community hub. He hurtled off to find the old man, knowing that he really shouldn't leave the till unattended, but what choice did he have? Adam wasn't yet making enough money to hire any assistants. Surely his heel shouldn't hurt so much? What's wrong, Mr. Mackintosh? Adam asked, with as neutral a tone as he could muster. You've moved everything around. I can't find anything. Yes, I did do a bit of restructuring. Moved the perishables out of the damp corner. What's a chili? The chili? What was Mackintosh on about? The Bandito, piping hot chili in a can. Did Mackintosh mean the sombrero range of faux Mexican products? Iffy taco shells and the foul-smelling dog food brown chili that promised authentic Tex-Mex cuisine in 5 minutes? Yon fellow with a guitar, Dago on a donkey. Christ, Adam had to shut him up, and fast. I've stopped ordering that crap, Mr. Mackintosh. You're the only one that buys it. I've got cans in the back dating back to the 1990s. Aye, and I bet it still keeps, Mackintosh winked, then remembered that he was supposed to be angry. That was my Saturday night dinner you threw out. I'm sorry, Mr. Mackintosh, but I am trying to modernise a bit. Less instant food and more organic veg. Organic veg? Mackintosh said, as if uttering an obscenity. Hogwash. That's not what people want round here. Do you no listen to your customers? It took almost 10 minutes to calm Mr. Mackintosh down and help him select some readily combinable products he could use to construct some semblance of his favourite meal. Adam had to practically complete his shopping for him. The old man was so agitated. In between filling his basket with bell peppers, chili flakes, steak mince and chopped tomatoes, Adam had attended to Miss Dillon and make sure nobody robbed the till. Eventually, however, he calmed the old man down to a low simmer of resentment and began to bag up his groceries in the new compostable paper bags he'd bought. I won't charge you for the bags, Mr. Mackintosh. You can recycle them or reuse them. What happened to the blue plastic ones? They're bad for the environment, Mr. Mackintosh. They kill seals. The old man frowned and watched, dumbstruck, as Adam rang up his order, taking off a couple of pounds to further appease the ancient regular. Mackintosh paid with a selection of loose change, a process which took interminable minutes, while 3 customers queued with infinite patience behind him. Adam was serving the last of these patient patrons when he heard a volley of cursing from the bus stop just outside the deli. He rushed through his sale and dashed outdoors to see Mr. McIntosh slowly folding his legs under him to reach for an errant tin that had rolled out of the torn-open base of the seal-saving recycled paper bag. Adam ran to help, taking McIntosh by the arm. "Don't you worry, Mr. McIntosh, let me." Adam scrabbled to collect the fallen groceries and stacked them on the sculpted plastic bench by the bus shelter. "A pepper rolled into the road, squashed flat by a black cab." "I'll get you another." "I will, hurry. I'll miss my bus now." Adam ran back into the shop, apologised to a bewildered couple who were standing patiently by the till holding a pineapple, grabbed a red pepper and a cardboard box and rushed back outside. When he'd packed McIntosh's purchases again, the old man looked forlornly at the box and then at the approaching number 82 bus. "How am I going to carry all that down to the centre and back?" Quite why McIntosh didn't do his weekly shop on his way back from his dominoes game was a question for another time. For now, desperate times required desperate measures. "You're just round the corner, aren't you?" "Aye, maybe 5 minutes." "Leave the box with me, pop back in on your way home, and I'll walk it round for you. Then the next time you drop in, I'll get some of these bags for life, the durable ones." "With handles?" "Yes, with handles." McIntosh looked sceptical, but the bus was pulling up. "Fine, keep an eye on it, mind. I'll be back about 4. 4 p.m, just in time for the school run rush. Still, Adam had made a promise, and he could probably afford to shut the shop for 10 minutes. "OK then, have fun with your friends." McIntosh scowled like this was an unlikely outcome, then got on the bus. McIntosh rolled in, smelling of whisky, at almost 6:15 p.m. Adam could have been annoyed that the old man was over 2 hours late to accept his bespoke delivery service, but actually it was a better time to lock the front door. He was due to close at 7 p.m. in any case, and not many people came in after 6. "My messages, you still got them?" asked McIntosh, leaning in the door jamb. "Right here, Mr. McIntosh," said Adam, allowing himself the hint of a sigh. "And I've added a carton of eggs for your trouble. No charge." "Huh," said McIntosh, dredging up gratitude. "Ta, makes up for being trounced at the dominoes." Levity, thought Adam, from Mr. McIntosh. Things are looking up. 15 minutes later, his sanguine acceptance of McIntosh's foibles was slipping away. "I thought you said you were round the corner," Adam protested, his arms aching with the weight of the box of groceries. Too many tin goods. "Nearly there," said McIntosh for something like the 7th time. This time, however, his estimate proved accurate. Moments later, McIntosh turned into a small side street of neglected Victorian tenements and stopped at the basement flat of number 8. He fished out a surprisingly large set of keys and led them down the mossy, crumbling stone steps to a door partly obscured by nettles. A couple of snips from some shears would sort those out, thought Adam. Inside, the neglect was even more evident. A hallway of cracked and stained linoleum, piled high on both sides with mouldering newspapers, piles of unopened mail, circulars mostly, and other junk. A small dark corridor led off to the right. The hall had one door to the left and one at the end. It was to this final, tobacco-stained door that McIntosh led Adam. "I'm no used to visitors. I haven't had the cleaner room for weeks." Adam wasn't sure if McIntosh was joking or not, so he returned a thin smile. Surely no professional cleaner had visited this domicile in years. Adam heard the buzzing of flies, then the clink of a bare bulb flickering on as the door swung wide to reveal the smallest, filthiest kitchen he had ever seen. The smell made Adam gag, but he held back with his revulsion. "You can put the messages down on the table," suggested Mackintosh, gesturing to a formica-covered wooden table with a gingham-checked plastic tablecloth. The table was mostly obscured by unwashed plates and pizza boxes. "I've not done any housework for ages," Mackintosh explained unnecessarily, as Adam pushed the items gingerly to one side to set the box down. He gazed around at a sink and counter further piled with dishes, and then into the box he'd filled with the fresh produce. Mackintosh was going under, it was obvious, and Adam's prices weren't likely to help. Why hadn't the old man started going to Aldi on the high street? It was even closer to his flat than Adam's deli. Adam sighed and made a decision, hoping the old man would not be too proud. "Do you want me to show you how to make that chili you like?" Mackintosh scratched his stubbly chin, blinked his rheumy eyes, then he simply nodded, as if defeated by superior logic. Adam took off his jacket and rolled up his sleeves. "Mr. Mackintosh, do you have anything to clean with?" Mackintosh continued to look like he'd just been awoken from a deep sleep. "There's some Jif under the sink." Not Jif, thought Adam, Sif. But when he crouched to look, Jif was exactly what Mackintosh had lurking there. It was going to be a challenging evening.
So I hope you enjoyed that, guest reader, and hope you enjoyed the story. I wanted to write something a little bit more down to earth than some of my more recent flights of fancy. Oh, forgot to mention, should have done this on the head of the piece. I had a little bit of good news recently. I actually had, for the first time, an agent request my full novel manuscript for my crime book, which I won't mention the name of or anything about, just, yeah, it's too early. But yeah, so I sent off the full manuscript a couple of days ago, so we'll see. May not come to anything, but perhaps even this side of 2023 I could have myself an agent. We will see what happens. Anyway, yeah, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the story. Let me know in the comments what you thought of my dad reading it, and if you want to see more of guest readers, I'm looking for guest writers, so if you want to contact me and take up the 1,000-word challenge, then by all means do so. Yes, and remember, before you go, to like this video if you did like it, and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Just hit that button, and I promise you won't be deluged in notifications. I'll be doing a piece once a week, or maybe once every 10 days. And everything, every subscriber is much appreciated and really helps to grow the channel. It is very slowly creeping up now, so let's help push it as far as we can. And yes, once again, thanks for listening, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.